Let me show you how I would set up that menu. Okay. So let's just create a new a4.py. All right, so again, if we're starting with comments, I would say, welcome the user, present menu options, get their choice based on their choice, go to the right calculator. Okay, so I am going to go back up here and say print series 6, and then star there. Oops. And then one more line of those. Okay, present menu options. Let's put a blank line there. Let's say print choose one to calculate the area of a square. Copy that line, make some modifications, choose 2, rectangle. How about that? There we go. Exciting. Get their choice. What would you like to do? There we go. Oh, we need that's an input. str menu equals. We're going to input that. There we go. Now I'll ask them what they want to do. Now based on their choice, okay, so I'm asking them to input 1 or 2. It's going to be a string because all input is a string, and I'm not going to bother to convert it because I'm just going to use it for this branching. So my if statement's going to look like this. If str menu equals 1, and I'm putting code there because remember, if I don't put anything after an if statement that's indented, it's just going to give me an error. So I'm just going to put some text there, giving user feedback for now. str menu equals 2. Then we're going to print you chose rectangle, else print bad input. Please try again. Okay, so I'm just, that's pretty, that's not very friendly language, but you get the idea. Okay, so now the rest of this is just 2 separate copies of assignment 3. I've got a calculator here and a calculator here. So the way this would look is I'm going to create another str side. Now I'm going to convert it on the fly. Int side equals int input what is the length of a side. Okay, so there we go. So I'm getting the input, which comes back as a string, and then I'm putting that inside of the int function to change that to an int. Actually, let's do float here. Float's a better choice because maybe it's like got 12.5-foot sides. I don't know. There we go. What is the length of a side? Keep it shorter. And then now we need to FL area. This is the calculation, right? Equals get user input, do the calc, equals FL side to the power of 2, right? Squared. I could say side times side, but I don't know, feels fancy to use an exponent. And then I'm going to print the result. And the result is print a square with a side length of FL side. It has an area of FL area. That's kind of a long one, so I'm gonna triple quote that so I can print it on 2 lines like this. Okay, there we go. And now that's 1. That's my square. On this side, same choices, right? Copy, get user input. Okay, for a rectangle, I need side 1. What is the height? We'll just call it height and width. Height, FLW equals float input. What is the width? Do the calculations. Area is FL height times FL width. Print the results. Let's just use a little bit of that. A rectangle with by FLH W FL area. Now, you notice here, I'm using area, FL area for the square and for the rectangle. Why is that not a big deal? Because I'm not calculating both. Python will do this code or it will do this code. It's not even going to pay attention to the other one. Okay, so literally that's the whole program. Let's run this, see how we did. Okay, so there's Bill's shape calculator. Choose 1 to calculate the area of a square, 2 to calculate the rectangle. So if I choose 2, I chose rectangle. What is the height? 10, 5. Rectangle with measurements of 5 by 10 has an area of 50. Let's run it and do the other thing. Square. In this case, it only asks me the length of a side. 10. 10 times 10 has an area of 100. So far, so good. And if I do something unusual, then I get the bad input choice. So what I'm doing here, let me make this window as big as I can so I can show as much code as possible. Okay, so what I'm doing here, welcoming the user, you know how to do that. I'm presenting menu options, you know how to do that. I'm getting a choice that comes back as a string, hopefully either 1 or 2. You know how to do that. This is where it's going to get a little tricky for many of you, but you're going to turn around and use that choice that they make in the menu to then do something in the program. So str menu equals 1 is for the square, and in this space, I do the calculation of the square. If they choose number 2, then in this space, all indented, notice, this whole code block is part of this elif, and it gets executed if they choose number 2. If they choose anything else other than those 2 options, it gives them the error message. And that is what assignment 4 should look like when